Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're updating Shop My Stash number 4, which I guess is Shop My Stash July. For my Shop My Stashes, I have the Shop My Stash where I go through all my products and pick everything out, and I'll link that video right up here. And then for the update, I try everything on and talk to you about what I thought about them during the time that I was trialing them. So to get started, I'm going to start with primer. I had picked out the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. To me, this was just, I used it all up, so I'm not going to be trying it on today. I'm actually using the L'Oreal Magic Lumi one because I've got some, I wish I could know how much is left of this. Oh, you know what? It's right about here. I can tell from the light. I feel like the Becca one is very similar to this. They both have kind of that sheen to it. They're both a thinner formula. I didn't feel like there was anything extra special to the Becca one that it should cost so much more money than some of the drugstore ones, is I guess kind of my thoughts on that. And then I had also picked up the 15-hour primer from Benefit. This one I felt was very similar to the Tatcha Luminous Primer. It's like this was kind of the first one, because this one's been around forever, and then a lot of other textures like this have come out in the primer world. I feel like this was kind of the first one of that blurring, I don't know what to say this texture is, because it's different from the Professional for sure, but it really reminds me of the Tatcha one and the new Tarte one, but in a stick formula, which is actually kind of nice because you can just kind of place it right where you want it, and I always put a blurring primer right in this T-zone area, so I feel like that worked out well. For eyes, I've been using the Essence I Love Color Intensifying Eyeshadow Base. This is probably my least favorite eyeshadow base I've ever used. It's very thin, and I just like a little more thicker one that dries down. Like this one doesn't really, I mean it dries down but not to like a powdery consistency. So for me, the Ulta Nude Matte Eyeshadow Primer is still my favorite because it not only is thicker, so it covers any discoloration on the lids, but it also dries down to a more matte consistency, like kind of powder consistency, so I really like that. And maybe it's because of the type of eyeshadow looks I do, but I feel like even when you're doing a more neutral one, like you want your eyelids canceled out. You don't want veinies or purple or anything showing through, maybe especially when you're doing neutral looks. So don't recommend that one at all, and I'm glad to get back to using my Ulta one, which is almost out. I've got two different concealers that I'm using. I actually had picked out the Sheer Cover concealer. I really do love this one. This one though smells, so it's getting trashed. It just is, yeah, it definitely has like an old gross kind of smell to it, so I'm done with that. So I went back to using my Collab concealer. This is one of my favorites, and it's almost empty, so I thought since I'm not using that one for this Shop My Stash, I will just finish this up. So you can actually see, like, this is pushed all the way up, but there was still quite a bit of concealer down in there. I'm almost done though. So I use this for my face concealer, so any discoloration, like I've got this nice big ol' planet here on my face. I want to cover a little guy here, and then for any discoloration that I want to cover up. Oh, you know what? I didn't talk about if I would get this one. I do like this Benefit one, and I love that it's in a stick form. So what I'm probably going to do is, as I continue with other primers throughout my Shop My Stash, I'll compare it to that. But as of now, I would repurchase that. It's probably my favorite pore filling primer right now. I do like the Tatcha one. You know what else this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Cover FX blurring primer in a stick form, and the Cover FX blurring primer is one of my favorites. I just love this. I just think this is so convenient. So next we'll move on to under eye concealer, and I had pulled out the L'Oreal Infallible one because I'd had it for a while and hadn't used it, and I love that L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation is my absolute favorite. So I just put a couple dots. Now, the thing about this one is you've got to work quickly with it. If you don't work quickly, it tends to set where you put it, and then it makes it harder to blend out, and you kind of have the lines showing of where you put it. Now, I got this color in like 2 shades deeper than I usually get foundation. It's still so light on me. It's definitely full coverage, and if you get to it right away, it blends out. It doesn't crease a ton. I like my under eye concealer just a little bit thinner than this one is, but if you really want a full coverage concealer, this one might be for you. Like if I were to compare it to one that was a little, if I were to tell you which one I would purchase over it, it would either be the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-hour coverage, which I think has full coverage and is a little thinner, and the Bare Minerals, oh, what is that concealer? Serum concealer or something like that. Those two are probably my top 2 under eye concealers. I have been setting it with the Velvetizer from Urban Decay. That was the translucent powder that I picked up for this Shop My Stash, and I forgot how much I liked this one. It is so fine, and it is a mattifying one, and this is also a product that they say you can mix in with a dewy foundation to make it a matte foundation. I don't do that because I have found my foundation that I love, so I don't need to mix that in with, I don't buy dewy foundations. So, but I do like this. This is right up there ranked with my Pretty Vulgar translucent setting powder, which is my top one, but this one is definitely fine like that one is. Let me pull you guys in a little bit so you can see under my eyes. Like, I have some fine lines, but you really can't tell extremely bad. They don't, I mean, like, they don't come out using this powder is I guess what I'm saying. All right, let me scoot you guys back. All right, on to foundation. I have been waiting to talk to you guys about this for a while. I had tried 2 foundations in this Shop My Stash. One is the Maybelline 24-hour Flawless, what is it called? Super Stay Full Coverage. Everybody loves this foundation. This is the one I'm putting on today. I have it in 112 Natural Ivory. It's okay. It is not as good, I think, as everyone says it is. I don't feel like it's Super Stay at all. I feel like it moves around in my T-zone area, which I can't stand. So I guess since I've already found my foundation that works really well for me, it's just hard to match that foundation now. So anything that does less is not going to be a foundation that I'm going to repurchase or love or give a good review for. So I am still loving most the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. So the second foundation that I picked up for this Shop My Stash, I was so excited to try because a lot of people had actually given it a good review, and it's the Juvia's Place foundation. I also was excited to try it because I love Juvia's Place eyeshadows. They're some of my favorite ones. I have almost all of them. It goes on pretty good. I just find it breaking up in this T-zone area a couple hours after I've put it on, and to me, that's not a very good foundation. Okay, so anyways, back to the Juvia's Place one. I've talked about this a bit. I don't like it at all. I think that it's almost too thick and too full coverage that it really looks kind of cakey, I thought. And maybe that's like an unpopular opinion. I had a recommendation to use some moisturizer in it, and I did that, and it's still, I mean, it just did not look good. And I have fairly normal skin, so I'm not like too oily or too dry or anything like that. So yeah, I just really didn't like it, and I returned it because here's the thing about returns, which I know people are on like two different sides. I rarely return things. I understand that if you return something, it's going to get thrown away. And I understand that some people don't like that people return things for that fact that it's waste, okay? If it stayed in my collection, it would get thrown away. I'm never going to use it. And I feel like the company needs to know that there are people that are not liking it. You know, like I feel like if there's a product that everyone doesn't like and no one returns it, then the company's just going to keep making it and not try to improve upon it at all. And that's kind of my thoughts on returns. I rarely return makeup products, but if I have a product that claims something and I've researched it, I'm not just going out and purchasing everything to review it on my channel. You guys know that, obviously. I'm in a low buy. Then I'm going to return the product. I'm not going to keep a product that I'm never going to use. And that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I think that that is part of a company's customer service, is to allow people to return things that they don't like. Okay, so I am setting my face. I had picked up the same powder to set my face with because I'm limited on deeper powders that I use during the summertime, if you know what I mean, darker powders. So this is the Pro Glow from L'Oreal. I'll show it to you guys. It's totally destroyed. That's what it looks like now, but I'm still using it. And then for bronzer, I was using the same one I had used from the last Shop My Stash, because this is the deepest bronzer that I have. I think I'm going to pick something else for my next one, but I was using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I've just been using this during the summer because it is a deeper color, and I'm a little tanner, and my foundations are, actually I may just kind of bronze up everywhere. My foundations right now are a little lighter, even though I'm purchasing darker ones than usually. Maybe I got super tan this summer. Probably not. Yeah, so anyways, that's what I just put on. And then for blush, ooh, I had two blushes. I just used this one yesterday. This is the Strawberry Blush Duo. I love this blush. This is from Too Faced. This actually was in my 20 best products from 20 brands in 20 minutes one. I love it so much. But today, I'm actually going to be filming with the orange, what is the orange one called from ColourPop? Orange Soda Pop? No. Orange You Glad? I'm filming with that, so I'm going to do a more corally blush for today. So I'm going to use the Alomar Blush Trio. This was the other blush that was in my Shop My Stash. I'm going to use this one today on its own and just see how it goes on, because it may need something to deepen it up, or maybe not. And then we've got highlighter. What do we have left? Just highlighter and bronzer, I think. For highlighter, I have been using the Mary Luminizer. You guys, I cannot own makeup and not destroy it. Happened to this? Oh my gosh. So I dropped it and it went smash. Like the whole thing actually came out. The whole thing came out of the little compact. Alright, so anyways, Mary Luminizer from the Balm. This one also is in my 20 products, best 20 products from 20 brands. I really like it. I'm really glad I pulled it back up. This is like the original super shine bright like a diamond highlighter. and it's so pretty. Now for brows, I picked up the Brow Contour Pro pen from Benefit to use. I have it in Blonde Light. It is a little darker, like you almost need to go to shade lighter than what you think you are. I don't know what the next shade up is, but that's the shade that I picked when I purchased it online, and I did need to exchange it. So this one has got a lighter shade, and this, I totally bought this for nostalgia, by the way. Do you see the clicky pen? It has a lighter shade, a deeper shade, a definer, and a highlighter. So I've been using, I've been trying to use all of them. The highlighter really isn't, it's more of just, I don't know, it's kind of my skin tone on around my eyes, so it's hard to use as a highlighter. I'll use all of the things, all of the shades today though to show you guys. So I go in first with the lighter shade because that is really closer to my eyebrow color. I feel like this brow pencil is kind of made to have like highlighted brows. I just kind of get it filled in, you know, with the tone that's close to mine, and then I go in with the deeper shade and just kind of fill in some of those spots that are still there. Give the tail a little bit of depth to it. It's kind of a shade lighter than the light shade, and I suppose you could use this to like outline, or if you want to highlight. I guess that's a thing now people are doing. And it just gives a little more dimension to the brows. Alright, let's go ahead and put the highlighter on and see how and then I go in with the definer shade. So there it is with the highlighter. I don't know. It's not much of a difference. I guess it could kind of be used like concealer. I mean, maybe you could even use it on your wing like concealer, because that's really what it's like. You know what this would be good for? Is highlighting where you need to pluck your brows at. Like if you defined where you wanted them and then used it to help you pluck your brows. Anyways, I'm going to leave it like that. The other product I had in my Shop My Stash, I had these, right? The Kiss Lashes? I think so. It's been a while. I'm going to go ahead and do my eye makeup. Like I said, I'm filming with the orange one today, and then I will be back once I have these lashes on just to talk about them for a minute, and then we'll wrap it up. Alright guys, back with those lashes on and obviously my look done. So that is the Orange You Glad palette from ColourPop. This is already up on my channel, so I'll link it up here so you can check it out, but I'm loving that palette. So for the lashes, I remember why I didn't like them. They are kind of, so these are the Kiss Look So Natural I don't know, KFL03, I think is what they're called, but they are like nylon kind of material, so you can't really form them. I mean, they're just kind of floppy. They don't have really any form to them, so they're really hard to use. And like this one's already coming up. I'll be taking these off soon, but then even like if you move them, I don't know, they just like are flimsy is a word I would use for them. Very flimsy. I don't recommend them, and I don't anticipate that I'll be using them very often. Or again, period, perhaps. But that is everything for this week's Shop My Stash, this month's Shop My Stash. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm kind of thinking about, for the next one, doing a samples Shop My Stash. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that? I have so many different kinds of sample packets and things that I would love to just try out, because that's the whole purpose of them, but I never do because I have so many other things. So let me know what you guys think about that, and I think that's everything. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Have an amazing day. Thank you for taking time to spend with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!